Oh, good morning again, folks. We're just going to be continuing on. It is the 6th of March. Bills are due. I'm up against the hard deadline. And we have just finished going through reading all the way to Daniel chapter 9. And now we're going to continue on. And hopefully we'll get the book of Daniel done. So we can move on to the meat and potatoes and the current beast system, which was foretold a long time ago. Daniel 10. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed to Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar. And the thing was true, and the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing and had understanding of the vision. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all. 3 whole weeks were fulfilled, and in the 24th day of the first month, potheads are going to love that 420, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. For the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me. For my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet I heard the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then I was in a deep sleep on my face, and my face toward the ground. And, behold, a hand touched me, which set me upon my knees, and upon the palms of my hands. And he said to me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak to you, and stand upright, for to you am I now sent. And when he had spoken this word to me, I stood trembling. Then he said to me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that you did set your heart to understand and to chasten yourself before your God, your words were heard. And I have come for your words. For the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. But lo, Michael and one of the chief princes came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. Now I have come to make you understand what shall befall your people in the latter days. For yet the vision is for many days. And when he had spoken such words to me, I set my face toward the ground, and I became numb. And behold, one like the likeness of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spoke, and said to him that stood before me, O my Lord, by the vision my sorrows are turned upon me, and I have retained no strength. For how can the servant of this my Lord talk with this my Lord? For as for me, now there remains no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me. Then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me, and said, O man greatly beloved, fear not. Peace be unto you. Be strong. Yes, be strong. And when he had spoken to me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my Lord speak, for you have strengthened me. Then said he, Know you why I come to you? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia. And while I have gone forth, lo, the prince of Greece shall come. Michael. Sounds like Michael the archangel. But I will show you that which is noted in the scripture of truth. and there is none that holds with me in these things, but Michael your prince. Well, if it's not Michael, it's close. He's close. Daniel 11. Also, I in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I, stood to confirm and to strengthen him. And now I will show you the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the fourth shall be far richer than they all. And by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up against the realm of Greece. And a mighty king shall stand up, and shall rule with great dominion, and do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken, and shall be divided toward the 4 winds of heaven. And not to his posterity, Alexander the Great had no children, nor according to his dominion which he ruled, but his kingdom shall be plucked up, even for others besides those. And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of his princes, and he shall be strong above him, and have dominion. His domination shall be great domination. Dominion. His dominion shall be great dominion. And in the end of years they shall join themselves together. For the king's daughter of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement. But she shall not retain the power of the arm. Neither shall he stand nor his arm, but she shall be given up, and they that brought her, and he that begot her, and he that strengthened her in these times. But out of a branch of her roots shall one stand up to his estate, which shall come with an army, and shall enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against him, and shall prevail. And shall also carry captives into Egypt, their gods, with their princes, and with their precious vessels of silver and of gold, and he shall continue more years than the king of the north. So the king of the south shall come into his kingdom, and shall return into his own land. But his sons shall be stirred up, and shall assemble a multitude of great forces, and one shall certainly come and overflow and pass through. Then shall he return and be stirred up, even to his fortress. And the king of the south shall be moved with bitterness, and shall come forth and fight with him, even with the king of the north. And he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given into his hand. And when he has taken away the multitude, his heart shall be lifted, and he shall cast down many 10,000s, but he shall not be strengthened by it. For the king of the north shall return, and shall set forth a multitude greater than the former, and shall certainly come after certain years with a great army, and with much riches. And in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south. Also the robbers of your people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they shall fall. So the king of the north shall come and cast up a mount, and take the most fenced cities, and the arms of the south shall not withstand, neither shall his chosen people, neither shall there be any strength to withstand. But he that comes against him shall do according to his own will, and none shall stand before him. And he shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed. And he shall also set his face to enter with the strength of his whole kingdom, and upright ones with him. Thus shall he do, and he shall give him the daughter of women, corrupting her. But she shall not stand on his side, neither before him. And after this shall he turn his face to the isles, and shall take many. But a prince for his own behalf shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease. Without his own reproach he shall cause it to burn upon him. Then he shall turn his face toward the fort of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall, and not be found. Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes, in the glory of the kingdom. But within a few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle. And in his estate shall stand up a vile person, to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably, and obtained the kingdom by flatteries, deceit. And with the arms of a flood, peoples, shall they be overflowed from before him, and shall be broken. Yes, also the prince of the covenant. And after the league made with him, he shall work deceitfully, and he shall come up, and shall become strong with a small people. And he shall enter peaceably even upon the fattest places of the province. And he shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers. He shall scatter among them the prey, and spoil, and riches. Yes, he shall forecast his devices against the strongholds, even for a time. And he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army. But he shall not stand, for they shall forecast devices against him. Yes, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him. And his army shall overflow, and many shall fall down slain. And both these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief. And they shall speak lies at one table, but it shall not prosper. For yet the end shall be at the time appointed. Then shall he return into his land with his riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant. And he shall do exploits, and shall return to his own land. And at the time appointed he shall return, and come toward the south, but it shall not be as the former, or as the latter. For the ships of Chittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved, and return, and have indignation against the holy covenant. And shall he do, so shall he do, and he shall even return, and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that makes desolate. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But his people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. Exploits is in italics, meaning it's added. So they'll do some projects. Continuing Daniel 11, verse 33. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many, and they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, by captivity, and by spoils, many days. Now, when they shall fall, they shall be helped with a little help, but many shall cling to them with flatteries. And some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them, and to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and he shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation is accomplished, for that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any god, for he shall magnify himself above all. But his estate shall honor the God of forces, and a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver, and with precious stones and pleasant things. The God of forces? The God of war? Continuing on, verse 39. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and he shall cause to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. Sounds like what goes on today with the bankers. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots and with horsemen and with many ships, and he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. He shall enter also into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab and the chief of the children of Ammon, all enemies of Israel. And he shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go with great fury to destroy, and utterly to make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas in the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. This passage has some of the past in it already. It's covered, the history is documented in apocryphal books. And it speaks of the future of our time. Daniel chapter 12. And with this we conclude the book of Daniel. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which stands for the children of your people, Michael the archangel. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time your people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book of life. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that are wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words, and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Those are definitely our days, travel and knowledge. Then I, Daniel, I looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that of the side of the bank of the river. And the one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders? And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand to heaven, and swore by him that lives forever, that it shall be for a time, times, and a half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, Go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the end of time. Till the time of the end. I'm sorry, I said that in reverse. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waits, and comes to the 1,335 days. But you go your way till the end is, for you shall rest and stand in your lot at the end of the days. We pull a lot from this book. We take the times, and half a time to mean a year, 2 years and a half year, 3.5 years. So 3 years and 3.5 years are important periods of time, and probably important right now even. But this, we are told Daniel is shown some of the future, but he's told, shut the book. Don't write it down. It's not for them. He's given a little bit of a gift of the future, the understanding, but it's not for the rest of us. Not until the end days, the end of the age, which I believe we are definitely in. And most of you out there feel it too. So, we finished the book of Daniel. And now we're going to get into what I consider the real meat and potatoes. So we're going to understand the final form of the beast system, and we're going to be just short of the end in case you're wondering. So allow me to close up this video, and we're going to move on to one of the greatest writings ever. And you'll have to forgive me. I really don't understand a lot of what I've read here in the book of Daniel. So let me admit my shortcomings. I really look forward to some youngster out there, some kid maybe about 6th or 7th grade with great understanding, who hasn't been brainwashed like I was when I was in about 4th grade, and I learned to read, and I read everything I could. I particularly read the Greek classics, yeah, at that age, and I read about geology, I read about the world, and I realized that things were quite a bit different. I was living in Germany. From where I stood, we had not won the war, and apparently we haven't. We didn't win that last war. We were fooled and deceived. What bothered me in the movies is when they always mentioned listening to the Führer, and he had listening to the mastermind, and they marveled at his wisdom because there was no way they could lose. I'm not sure who won that Second World War. I've always thought it was the Jews. I thought it was the Edomites, the people out of Mount Edom, the ones that went into Khazaria and were driven off by the white Russians, the beautiful Russians and the Russians, and went into Europe and then into the rest of the world. Anyway, I'm getting carried away. May Yahweh bless you. Let's move on. I can't wait to get into this other, because we've got 2 different versions to look at, and we're going to go through both of them. And I would love to come up with a proper version of this and publish it. So if that's something that you want to pray about, then do pray about it. Do pray for it. I think we need it. I think we're a long way from the end, in case you're wondering. Too much of this book has not been fulfilled, and the majority of it is in the Old Testament, not in the New Testament. Those things haven't come to pass. The one that always stands out to mind is Damascus, which the Syrians call Damesh. It's still around. It has not been destroyed. It's, according to Isaiah, it's going to be turned into pure rubble and uninhabitable. It's one of the oldest, longest inhabited cities ever. And we do have cities and ruins left over from the previous Earth Age. Nineveh, with its giant winged lions, those giant granite statues that were carved so finely, they had to destroy those because they didn't want us to ask questions like, how come we can't make anything like this today if we're so great? It's because we're not the latest and greatest. Okay, I'm opened up to the book of Luke. I was covering that with a brother, trying to help me understand salvation. All right, I forgot. Yahweh bless. We'll start a new video on this. Bye-bye.